In 2023, the global esports market generated over $1.8 billion in revenue, and the top players in the world are earning more than most professional athletes in traditional sports. Let that sink in for a moment. People are getting paid millions of dollars to play video games, and the industry is only getting started. Welcome to Pixel Pulse. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to discover how esports transformed from something kids did in their parents' basements into a legitimate, globally recognized career path. We will walk through the history, the money, the infrastructure, and the culture that made all of this possible. And we will also reveal the one thing that most people get completely wrong about breaking into esports as a career, a mistake that kills the dreams of thousands of talented players every single year. Let us start at the beginning, because this story does not start with Twitch or YouTube, or even the internet. It starts in 1972 at Stanford University, where students gathered for what is now considered the world's first video game competition. They played Space War, a simple space combat game, and the winner took home a year-long subscription to Rolling Stone magazine. Not exactly a $1 million prize pool, but the seed had been planted. Throughout the late 1970s and 1980s, arcade culture exploded. Players would line up at machines not just to play, but to beat each other's high scores. Atari held one of the first large-scale gaming tournaments in 1980, attracting over 10,000 participants across the United States. These events proved something critical. People did not just want to play games. They wanted to compete, and they wanted an audience. The 1990s brought everything to another level. The rise of home gaming consoles, the spread of personal computers, and most importantly, the birth of the internet changed competition forever. Games like Quake and StarCraft became the foundations of early online competitive gaming. South Korea in particular went all in on this transformation. Following the 1997 financial crisis, the South Korean government heavily invested in broadband infrastructure, and PC cafes called PC bangs spread across the country. StarCraft became a national obsession. By the early 2000s, professional StarCraft players were celebrities with television contracts, dedicated fan clubs, and salaries that rivaled traditional sports figures in that country. That South Korean model was the blueprint the rest of the world would eventually follow, even if it took everyone else another decade to catch up. So what changed in the West? The answer is streaming. When Twitch launched in 2011, it did not just create a platform for watching games. It created an economy around watching games. Suddenly, talented players had a way to build audiences, generate income through subscriptions and donations, and prove to sponsors and organizations that they had real commercial value. Viewership exploded. The 2012 League of Legends Season 2 World Championship drew over 8 million concurrent viewers, a number that shocked traditional sports executives and advertisers who had been dismissing gaming as a niche hobby for years. But here is what nobody talks about: the infrastructure explosion that happened quietly behind the scenes. While everyone was focused on flashy prize pools and famous players, universities, investors, and corporations were building the scaffolding that would turn this into a real industry. By 2014, over 40 North American universities had started or were planning esports programs. Today that number has surpassed 200, with schools offering full athletic scholarships for competitive gaming. These programs do not just train players. They develop coaches, analysts, event managers, broadcast professionals, and team psychologists. The talent pipeline is now institutional, which means the industry has self-sustaining growth built directly into the education system. Major brands noticed. Coca-Cola, Intel, Mercedes-Benz, and Red Bull all moved significant marketing budgets into esports sponsorships. In 2018, the Overwatch League became the first major esports league to adopt a city-based franchise model similar to the NFL or NBA. Teams like the London Spitfire and the Los Angeles Valiant sold for between $20 and $60 million each. Team valuations across top organizations like Team Liquid, Cloud9, and FaZe Clan surpassed $100 million, with FaZe eventually going public on the Nasdaq. Now let us talk about the actual money, because this is where most people's understanding of esports careers gets dangerously incomplete. The average salary for a starting professional player in a Tier 1 esports organization is currently between $50,000 and $80,000 per year. Top players in games like Dota 2, League of Legends, and Counter-Strike earn well over $1 million annually when you factor in salary, tournament winnings, and sponsorships. Johan Sunstein, known as N0 Tail, has career tournament earnings exceeding $7 million from Dota 2 alone. But the real opportunity in esports is not necessarily on the player side. Coaching, content creation, casting, event production, data analytics, and team management are all growing career tracks with genuine longevity. A player's competitive window might be 10 years at best, but an analyst or a broadcaster can work in this industry for decades. This is the insight that changes everything for people who want to build a life inside esports. Consider the role of the data analyst. Modern esports teams employ analysts who study opponent tendencies, map control strategies, and mechanical performance metrics with the same rigor as any professional sports franchise. Counter-Strike teams, for example, use advanced statistical software to break down demo footage, tracking player positioning and decision-making across thousands of rounds. These analysts earn competitive salaries and their work directly influences match outcomes at the highest levels. What about the broadcasting side? The biggest esports events now operate with production budgets that rival major live television broadcasts. Casters, hosts, and color commentators build loyal audiences of their own. Shox, one of the most recognized esports hosts in the world, has been covering League of Legends esports for over a decade and has built a career that transcends any single game or organization. The broadcast talent ecosystem is growing because as viewership grows, the demand for polished, professional presentation grows alongside it. Here is another statistic that will reframe how you see this industry. According to Newz's 2023 Global Esports and Live Streaming Market Report, there are now over 532 million esports viewers worldwide. For context, the Super Bowl draws roughly 115 million viewers in a single event. Esports does not have one Super Bowl moment per year. It has dozens of major events across multiple games and multiple continents, each pulling in millions of viewers simultaneously. That is the scale of the audience that brands and advertisers are chasing. The geographic spread of this industry is also worth examining closely. While North America and South Korea remain dominant, regions like Southeast Asia, Brazil, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe are emerging as serious esports markets. Valorant's global circuit specifically introduced regional leagues that gave competitive structures to markets that previously had no formal pathway. This decentralization is creating career opportunities in places that had almost none just 5 years ago. But challenges remain, and we would be doing you a disservice if we did not address them honestly. Burnout is a real and documented crisis in esports. The training schedules for Tier 1 players often involve 8 to 12 hours of deliberate practice per day. Mental health struggles, repetitive strain injuries, and the psychological pressure of performing in front of millions of viewers have ended careers early for many talented players. Organizations are increasingly investing in sports psychologists and structured wellness programs, but the industry is still maturing in how it handles player welfare. There is also the volatility problem. Games have life cycles. StarCraft was dominant, then it faded. Overwatch was massive, then its league struggled. These sports careers built around a single title are always one bad business decision or declining player base away from disruption. The professionals who survive the longest are those who develop transferable skills, communication, leadership, strategic thinking, that carry across titles and roles. The rise of esports is not just a gaming story. It is a story about how digital culture creates entirely new economies, how young people build careers inside systems that did not exist when their parents were growing up, and how the definition of what counts as a legitimate profession keeps expanding as the world changes. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Pixel Pulse for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.